Hello there, world of tankers. Welcome to the channel. I'm your host, Droodles Blitz, and in today's video, I'll be showcasing the M6Yo and why it is still one of the most overpowered tanks in Blitz. I keep saying it time and time again, until Wargaming decides to nerf the double shotgun this vehicle features, I will continuously call it basically the most OP gun in tier 10. I remember before this tank was even released and I saw the statistics of this double shotgun, I said it needs to be nerfed. And Wargaming said, nope, we're not going to touch a thing. And I still have that video up. Somebody can probably find it somewhere. But there has not been a single video on the M6Yo where I've called this a balanced tank. It does 900 damage in 1.71 seconds, with 10 degrees of gun depression, 2,500 health, and decent turret armor. What else do you need? Well, if that's not enough of a, swaying pitch, I'm going to showcase two replays that Flossie and I had today. We were platooning. I just finished live streaming yesterday, and we just wanted to play a little bit more Blitz. Sometimes we want to have some fun playing Blitz without streaming, and that's what we did the other day. And we decided to do double autoloaders because we just wanted to chill. We didn't want to, use too much brain power. So I suggested first double Fosh. We had a lot of fun in double Fosh. YOLO'd and won like 90% of the games we played. And then I let Flossie pick, and he picked the double Yo. And if you're unaware, double M6Yo is truly the most diabolical thing in the game. Now, to be fair, I think we both decided that double 57 heavy was more dangerous due to the higher clipping damage, but double M6Yo was just as dumb. And you're going to see why in just a moment here, right? So we have decided to go up Heavy Hill. Heavy Hill is one of those decisions that doesn't come lightly, and you can see why. Flossie's already lost 600 health. Now I'm being shot at by the boss Shottion. Of course, he doesn't pen me, but there you go. 4202 shoots me in the frickin' hatch, bruh. Yeah, already not a great start. Flossie and I have bled a combined of 1,000 health, and I was pinging to my team to spot that 4202. But there you go. 4202 gets a little cocky. Minus 908, minus 1844. What? What? That was a full health 4202. That player now has 6 health. Do I need to say anything else? That player now has 6 health. That was a full health player before. Like, what this tank is able to do is truly diabolical. Even double 57 heavy wouldn't have been able to do that, because the double 57 heavy doesn't have the same damage output, right? It has a 1200 damage clip, and even with shell reload boost, it has a fast injure clip, but it doesn't have reticle Cali. That's what allows this tank to be more accurate. And mainly, it does not feature that 450 damage shot with a 1.7 second incher clip. So at this point, Flossie and I, take a couple blind shots at this bush. Believe it or not, I think Flossie actually blind shots the enemy AMX 50B, which is weird, because the boss Shottion was the tank that was last spotted there, but I think he actually does take like 1,000 health off the 50B, which we'll have to take a look at later at the post-game results. But right now, again, we're just chilling. We don't know where the 183 is. We don't know where any of their team is. Our team is being an absolute whimper 9,000 and refusing to move up. But I've said, you know what? 183 probably would have shot at us if he was over here. I'm going to go up and screw it. So I'm going to get 1 shell into the side of the IS-4, 2 shells into the IS-4. There you go. That's 920 health. Flossie unfortunately bounces the first shot, but he does pen the second. So that IS-4 still lost about 1,300 health. And I'm up to 1,800 now. Not bad. And there you go. 183 spotted. Because that 183 is detected, that's a huge weight lifted off my shoulders. I put on reticle Cali so I can hit tanks at accuracy. There you go, 432 and 863. And you can see that the 50B was spotted for the first time in this game with quite a bit of missing health. I'm pretty sure that was from Flossie. So now I'm up to 2,700 damage at this point. Flossie gets the clearing shot into that player, and now he's going to aim it on the type. Unfortunately, he ends up bouncing the shot. Alright, well that's alright. I'm going to aim it on the type myself. Let's aim it on his lower plate. There you go. 1 shot and 2 shots. There you go. 920 health. So he shoots me for 450. I double the damage in return. I'm now up to 3,600 damage. Alright, well, not going great right now. I'm getting shot by that boss Shottion. Lost 500 health to that player. And yeah, this is a bit of a sus game, right? Our team is just, as I said, my team's not really doing anything on the hill. I don't understand how our team has managed to lose the hill so badly, even though we had hill advantage. We had a freaking concept hull down, and he managed to die. Like, that's pretty sad. But that's what happens when you have to trust your teammates, right? So now Flossie and I are obviously going to push in here. We're going to see what we're able to do. So they have 3 tanks left. We have 5. And I'm still pretty healthy. How much health does Flossie have? Not too much, but because I still have 1,000 health, we should be completely fine. Again, this tank can deal 900 damage. So it's not like I have to worry too much here. So we're going to move up. We're going to stick together, and that's what you want to do in autoloaders, right? If you're playing in a platoon, you need to stick together. It's one of the major reasons I don't like platooning with certain people that, you know, maybe some people I've noticed me sometimes playing with on live stream. The number one rule of my platoons is you have to play like a team. And that's exactly what Flossie and I do, and it's why we win so much, right? We know how we play after so much time. So I see the enemy 50B over here. I've got my reticle Cali active, so easy shot into the roof of that player for 360. Then the 183 pokes, reticle Cali active, easy shot into the enemy 183. Puts me up to 4,000 damage. Obviously, I'm not going to get the shell into the boss Option, so I'm just going to skip past the ending of this game here. But, oh, my game crashed. Well, I would assume that's from my mods. Every now and then, when I exit Blitz, my game crashes. And I'm not exactly sure what causes it, but either way, the first game you just watched there with the M6 show is a clear representation of just the dumbness the vehicle has. We took a full health FV4202 and literally brought it to 6 health in 1.71 seconds. How do you counter that? I was joking with Flossie at the time, and I said, you know, why would you ever drive any other tank when you can just do this? Especially, you know, there's a lot of comp players which seem to think that the M6 show is not like a comp tank anymore, and I still just disagree with that on so many different levels. The ability to do what we just did is insane, and there's really no tank in the game that can do even remotely close to that in the same amount of time. So here we go, game number 2. Once again, double yo. And we're going to see what we can do here. We actually only ended up playing 3 games in double yo, and the reason why is because we decided that it was just too overpowered, right? We went to different tanks because both of us averaged like 4K in the 3 games we played, and we were like, yeah, this is dumb. Let's do something that might be a little bit different, because this is just too easy. So up against us, we have a Mouse, we have a Strids Von K, T95 E6, we got a Concept. There's the enemy E6, and these aren't bad players their team has. They have decent players, so we have to be a little careful here, right? We got to be a little bit careful. Especially, I can tell you one of the biggest downsides. When you're driving double autoloader or any tank that's really overpowered, you're going to get into this mindset of you're unstoppable, right? And that's definitely something that happens, especially in the Foch games. There were a couple Foch games where Flossie and I over-aggressed sometimes, and to be fair, the plays that we made weren't bad, but it was unfortunate because of the over-aggressions we made that we got stuck in positions we couldn't get out of. So at this point, I'm going to try and hold one flank, and Flossie's going to try and hold the other. So right now, I told him, I said, hey, we might be able to shoot this Mouse if he pokes again. Now, unfortunately, our Mouse has decided that he wants to drive directly in front of us and block every single opportunity I have. But I have that enemy Mouse there, and to me, that looks like a free chunk of damage. So I'm going to move up here, and I'm going to aim it on this Mouse, and we're going to get one pen. There you go, 362. A second pen, 757. It's still 750 damage into that player. And now we back up. So Flossie said, all right, I'm going to go for that Stridsvon. Okay. I'm like, okay. If Flossie pushes that Stridsvon, what's most likely going to happen is these players over here are going to push up. Especially with, I mean, look at the mini-map. Look at how much red there is in front of me. So I know that I need to get damage into these players. So I get 1, I get 2 into that E4, track him with the second shot. That locks him in place. And not only that, we're up to 1,700 damage so far. Okay, I'm going to chill and cover. I'm going to reload. Now, in this game, the argument may be placed that the triple shot would have been better. Better. But I still think the double shot just does so much more, right? So we're going to aim it on the E6 here. I'm going to get a shell into his lower plate, and oh, so close. That E6 is very lucky. All right, well, we're going to back up so the Concept doesn't pen me. There you go. He does end up shooting Flossie, but Flossie just took 1,053 off that Concept. That's almost half of that player's hit point pool. Like, it's just so dumb. And nobody can push us either. Nobody can push us because nobody's willing to risk 1,800 health. So I told Flossie, I said, okay, I'm just going to push the Concept and get him taken out. So there you go, 419. First shell massively low rolls. Second shell low rolls. But it's all right. Concept backs up, dies. So there you go. Now the E6 is going to try and poke Flossie and dies. Okay. So E6 is dead. Concept is dead. 2 of the stronger vehicles are now taken out. The 183 blind fires the low health E4. And I'm already up to 3,000 damage. Okay, well, I'm going to put on Radical Cali so I don't miss this 183. 183 just fired, so we're going to get 1 shell into his tank and 2 shells. 901 health off that player. Now I'm up to 3,900 damage. Okay. Flossie is quite low at this point, only at 231, but I told him the mouse fired, so Flossie gets 829 into that mouse. I'm obviously on reload, and we're interval reloads here. So when I have shells, he is on reload, and when I am on reload, he has shells, which is great. It means that nobody can really push us. So I get 1 into the mouse, I get 1 into the 183 because I want that player taken out of the game. So there you go, 183 is gone. Mouse now has 200 health. I tell Flossie the mouse is on reload, he gets the clear into the mouse, and now that leaves us with the Leopard 1 and the Strid's on. Now unfortunately Flossie gets a little over aggressive there. Leopard's able to get the clear, but that's alright. I still have 1300 health, right? So I'm pretty healthy here, and that means I can still easily push up. And even though the Leopard's full health, it doesn't really matter. I can take off half that Leopard's health in 2 shots. So aiming on the side, first shell really just screws me over. I fire second shell though, 408 damage. That puts me up to 5,000 now. And I back into cover. Leopard bounces me. This tank has very troll armor on the hatch. A lot of people always say like, oh, the Yo's armor's not that good. But I can promise you, when you're using this thing hull down, that armor's a lot more reliable than you think. So our Leopard gets a shell into the enemy Leopard, bringing him down to a 1 clip for me, and we aim in. We get 423, and we ammo rack him for the second shot, dealing 5,853 damage. That's the Yo. I mean, sure, would the triple shot have done fine there? Probably. But, this just shows, like, why this tank is so darn stupid. The damage output the vehicle has, and everything else is just insane. Now, I think my game might crash again here, so I'm just gonna set it to my face. I think there's a bug with the Yo skin or something that's causing it to bug out, but it's fine. At least the replays work, right? In general, the M6 Yo is truly an overpowered tank. And it's a vehicle I recommend over and over and over for players to get their hands on. It's weird that it's not ground more. People would rather go for the E100, even though this tank does more damage than the E100, has more mobility and more gun depression. But, oh well. Either way, once again, just another great showcase of why autoloaders simply dominate the game. Hopefully you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye!